Folks, hello. You've got Tavern Chat with a special TotalCon series of, I don't want to call them interviews, because trust me, we're not interviewing anybody. It's sitting down, chatting. Our first, and hopefully a series, is none other than Joe Bloch. If you were watching Friday night's live stream of the Random Party Generator, Joe and I popped in for a little bit. As you can tell, we are live from the con. It's the con behind us. We are literally sitting at the bar. So, I only have one question I want to ask everybody, and then we'll just take it from there. Is how the hell did you get into gaming?
I got into RPGs through wargaming. I was doing wargames.
You're the rarity in my generation that actually made that transition.
Yeah. I was playing wargames when I was like 8 years old. I was playing some of the Avalon Hill games.
Okay.
And from there, I kind of graduated into D&D, but I kept playing the wargames too. And I remember the way I got that first wargame. A neighbor of mine had a copy of an Avalon Hill game called Tactics 2.
I remember Tactics because it was left in the Queens College game, Queens College RPG Game Association. When I inherited the room, I found Tactics.
Yes. Yeah. And it's a very, very dirt simple game, and it didn't even have hexes. It had a square grid on the map. And I remember I took it and I borrowed it from her, and I took it all summer long, and I just kept reading the rules until I forced myself to understand it. And that opened the floodgates. And I had a couple friends of mine also who started playing games. We went into New York and went to the Complete Strategist.
Right.
Because back then, it was all war games. There were no RPGs.
Right.
So, we played that for a couple of years, and then I got into D&D after that. Because everybody was talking about it, and you kept seeing it in the catalogs and stuff.
That's true. It's designed as a supplement to Chainmail, essentially.
Yeah, well, there was the fantasy supplement in Chainmail.
Right. Okay.
And Chainmail was miniatures, so Chainmail was not the kind of wargaming I was doing.
Right. You were doing
Texas Encounters.
Texas Encounters. Chits sometimes.
Yeah. But it was still in that same circle. You would hear about the fantasy thing, and a bookstore in the town where I grew up happened to have a copy of Holmes Basic, and I got that, and the rest is history.
There you go. So now, that's TotalCon. How many TotalCons have you gone to?
This is, I think, my fourth.
All right, we're about the same then.
Yeah. I had a couple of years where I didn't go. I vended, had a break for a couple of years, and then I've been back the last 2 years.
Okay. So what is it about TotalCon that you particularly like? And you're like me, you go to a lot of conventions.
Yeah. This is, for me, it's a perfect size. Right? It's not huge and vast like a Gen Con or a Gary Con.
Right.
But it's not also dinky in a school gymnasium small.
Right.
Well, ShireCon is dinky, but ShireCon makes up for it because they have a good group of people.
Right.
But size-wise, I really like this. It's
a good size. It's a good hotel that fits the size.
Yes.
You don't see us. Last year, there's 4 elevators in the bank of elevators, and I think.
And they only had 2 working.
Yeah, they only had 2 working last year. So the temptation to take the stairs to the 6th floor was there. Temptation. It never happened.
But it's working now. They got
all 4 elevators working. The only thing that, the restaurant gets a little crazy between 5 and 7. I'm going to wait half an hour to get our bill, but that was.
But they include the free breakfast. But more and more hotels don't do that. You have to pay for the breakfast.
Now, when I first came here, you got the cold breakfast for free, but you had to pay an extra $7 if you wanted the eggs, the bacon. Now it's included in it. We leave a generous tip. The food is active. You can eat enough for breakfast that you don't need lunch.
Yes.
Which is what we did.
And it's also in a really good location because it's right on a very commercial strip.
Yep.
And there's fast food and regular sit-down everywhere.
Yeah, we're going to show rates for a brief second. So, Rach has been going to me to each of our total cons. I think it's 4. I think we went, or maybe it's 5. We went prior to COVID, the year of damnation. I was here and got sick. I don't blame the con for that. Just what happened. We didn't go in 21 or 22. Came back last year, and this year's been a blast. The vendor hall, it's weird. There's no vending on Thursdays, so it feels like the con isn't even really up and running on Thursday.
Right, because the con doesn't officially, well, there's gaming, but the dealership doesn't start until Friday.
Right. But they do have, I was surprised, there was a lot of old school TSR stuff from 2E and 1E and Basic that you could find at some of the vendors here. I found that pretty impressive.
So there's a whole room, one of the RPG rooms is designated for old school games.
Yeah.
And then there's another one for the Dead Gaming Society or whatever it's
Dead
called.
Gaming Society, which is the games that are currently out of print and have been. So I don't know what that would be. Everything's been brought back into print in some way. Paranoia is back in print.
Chivalry and Sorcery, first edition they could play.
I guess. Is it really dead if there's a current edition?
I guess, yeah.
I don't know. So, wow. How's business been? Anything else you want to throw out there?
Business has been pretty good. It's Friday, so I'm not expecting to make back the whole cost of the trip yet.
Right.
But no, I've just been having a lot of fun. I tend not to game when I'm vending, but, just being around everybody and having, talking to old friends that I see at conventions and stuff. And I'll go in and I'll watch people play. And I especially like the miniatures gaming, and there's a lot of that happens here too. So it's a lot of fun to just sit back and watch and relax after being in the vendors hall all day.
Right, which is from what, 10 to 7?
10 to 7. It's 10 to 7. It's a 9-hour.
Yeah.
Stint. I actually work longer hours there than I do in my real job.
Oh, God bless, go figure. Well, like I said, we're going to keep this short. We're going to keep this one short. Joe, thank you.
Thank you.
And I will grab the next victim in a few moments.